Today's video is going to be different because, as you've read by the title, it is going to be deep. As you're watching this video, it is already 2021, but for me, it is the 31st of December, the last day of 2020. And what a year it has been,
the
you
next
know.
few days will be even worse.
2020 had been a very eventful year, not just for me, but I'm pretty sure for everyone as well. There had been a lot of ups and downs that are especially evident this year because of the state the world is currently in. Now, this may sound controversial, but I feel like this pandemic can also be seen as a blessing in disguise. The value of what truly mattered seemed to have gotten lost in the hustle and bustle of the world before the pandemic swept in, and gave us a lot of time to reflect about a lot of things. Maybe life is about the after-dinner family game nights, or the little afternoon walks with your dog, or just being in the present and not worrying about some deadline coming next week. Everyone was just so busy that we all have forgotten how to live. But we can only take into heart our mistakes in the past and learn from them, moving forward into the new year and into the future. The first thing I learned is that the world is not ready for a pandemic. When 2020 started, people were already uncertain about the next coming months due to the news of the spread of the virus and the looming pandemic. Now, you would think at this day and age, the world is better equipped and prepared to handle a pandemic, but that doesn't seem the case. Number two is that all worldly problems won't be solved by the people we put in offices. Whether these are the people that we voted for or not, in the eyes of the people, governments will always be corrupt and do the wrong things. And the pandemic just showed us how capable they really are. I remember how my accounting teacher back in high school used to say all the time that money makes the world go round. And that stuck to me ever since. Money is needed in everything. We want to eat food, we pay for it. If we want to play video games online, we pay for it. But I realize now that money doesn't run the world. Emotions do run the world. Everyone has emotions no matter who you are, where you come from. Our emotions are the ones responsible for the decisions we make in almost everything. The fourth thing I learned this year is the importance of understanding the things we can and can't control. We are all bummed about the lockdown and the restrictions because we cannot go out of our homes without consequences. Yes, the pandemic could have been prevented and the virus could have been contained if this happened or if that was done, but these are the cards we are dealt. So why ponder on the things we can control, which is basically everything, and focus on the things that we can actually do something about, which is ourselves. A better world starts from within. The world won't change or save itself if we entrust it to somebody, and we can't wait for a physical manifestation of a divine intervention to right everything that is wrong in our eyes. All these problems the world is facing right now, with or without the pandemic, are still there. People fighting people because of how they look or who they are or who and what they believe in. We can't control other people, but instead, we can control ourselves to becoming better, to be who we needed when we were at our low points, and to be that divine intervention that we have been waiting for all this time. The sixth one on this list is the importance of having a backup plan. 2020 has canceled a lot of plans. I had a lot of videos that I wanted to make this year that had to be postponed because of the lockdown. I'm actually grateful that I had the motivation or the urge to write down a rough list of video ideas that I can do. Hence, I was able to keep making videos and uploading on this channel every Sunday, which connects to my next one. 2020 is a year where everyone's mental health just skyrocketed out of proportion. But despite everything, I actually did felt okay. I realized how much I love making content. I mean, I already knew how much I love making videos, but I didn't know that I love it this much. And it actually did kept me from losing it. This year, I was able to keep a consistent upload every Sunday, which I've never done before. And that's actually one of my goals that I set for myself coming into 2020. And every process of it was just an enjoyable experience. Number 8 is to believe in myself. I am able to do things if I believe that I can do them. Starting this YouTube journey of mine, I never actually knew how to edit videos or use Photoshop to create my thumbnails. But I wanted to make videos, so I started learning. My sister taught me the basics of how to use Premiere Pro and Photoshop. And from there, I read online tutorials and watched videos about how to basically edit. Same with music. I never had piano or guitar lessons as a kid, so growing up, I was known as that kid in class who was tone deaf and the guy who can't sing in music class. But I love music. So I picked up my older brother's old guitar and started watching online tutorials on how to play the guitar, which eventually led me to buy my own guitar, and hence here I am, surprising myself all the time now. At first, editing videos and playing the guitar without a teacher sounds very daunting, and it probably is. If you want something in life, you have to move. You have to work towards it. It doesn't matter how fast you are learning the skill you wanted to learn. It's okay if you are learning it slow. Baby steps are better than not moving at all. And you may find yourself one day thinking that you may never reach your goal at a slow pace, but give it some time, and when you look back at your progress sometime in the future, you'll realize how far you've come. 10 is how important it is to rest, be it physical or mental. Whenever I feel tired, my mind just seems to not work. When I try to do things, I don't get satisfied with what I have done or created. Especially this year when reading the news alone is just tiresome. But I realize every time I take a break, maybe take a nap or go for a run, the output seems to be much better if I have rested compared to when I'm working tired. The 11th thing I learned is that you are your only competition. Social media had become a big part of our day-to-day lives, and it actually gave us this disillusion of perfection, which shouldn't be, because that only gives us negative thoughts about ourselves. But why not challenge ourselves? Why not improve on a skill that you wanted to improve on, or learn a skill that you've always wanted to learn? Number 12 is the importance of communication. Now, I do believe that I am an introvert, and if you meet me in real life, I am the shyest and most awkward person you'll ever meet. And you would think that this lockdown would be a dream for an introverted person. Well, I guess at first it was, but then it wasn't. There came a point that I felt like I was losing it, and I felt like I needed to talk to my friends. This lockdown has shown us a lot of things that we failed to see before, and I am glad that I was able to pick up on who the real ones are, who my true friends are. There are people in life that you're going to encounter who are leeches and are only there because they gain something from you. People should not like you or act as if they are your friends because of transactional things, but they should like you for who you are, for being you, for being human, for being there. You should be more than enough, and that should help you find who your true friends are. And there are always going to be haters, even if you are the kindest, most beautiful, most grounded person in the world. There are people who just have this certain image of you that's the complete opposite. Whatever your path in life is, whoever you are and where you come from, there are people who will think negatively about you, and that is okay. One thing I learned from playing video games since I was young, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said this before, is that if there are enemies in the area, then you are in the right way. As long as you know yourself well enough and know who your real friends are, then it doesn't matter if people think or say bad things about you. They don't know you, and you don't live to please them. But instead, live for yourself. We're not put on this earth to please someone else, so do right by you. 16th lesson is the good times are not good without the bad. We would never know which ones are the good ones if we don't experience the bad ones. If we had good times all the time, then how would we know that they are indeed the good ones? Number 17 on this list is time flies growing older. I'm pretty sure people are going to say that 2020 is the slowest year of their lives. Actually, it's the complete opposite for me. I felt like 2020 is much faster than 2019, the same way as 2019 is much faster than 2018. I remember as a kid how 1997, 1998, and 1999 are probably the longest years of my life. And I actually do have a lot of fond memories from those years. But time felt faster as I grew older, and the next thing I know, it's 20 years from 2001. 18 is don't take life for granted. This pandemic has shown us how life can be cruel. I understand how 2020 had hit some people the hardest, like a rug beneath them has been pulled away, or even before the pandemic, how there are people who can't do things because they literally can't. And I'm extremely lucky that I'm able to do what I do. I'm able to eat several times a day, and I get to sleep in a comfortable bed under a roof. The penultimate one in this list is life is not about what happens to you, but what you do with what happens to you. Despite your age, where you come from, or who you are, everyone got affected by the pandemic. So the underlying question is, what can we do? We can only sulk at the bad things that have happened to us, or we can rebuild what was destroyed, find what was lost, and rise up from the ashes that 2020 had left behind. Lastly, the 20th thing I learned in 2020 is knowing that everything ends and everyone dies makes life more meaningful. If everything lasted forever, would that actually mean something? We shouldn't be afraid of things ending, but rather appreciate it. Don't you think the fact that we have limited time makes the things important to us matter? I do believe so. For me, it does. And those are the 20 things that I learned this year. 2020 was surely a roller coaster of a ride. Despite all the negative things that have happened, I would like to see it on a positive light and manifest that positivity coming into 2021. If you made it this far into the video, then kudos to you. Thank you guys ever so much for watching, subscribing, and showing your support on this channel, and helping me reach my YouTube goal of 2020. Even though my journey here on YouTube isn't as fast as some creators have, I'm still truly blessed and happy, and I sure do hope that I am able to achieve my mission in brightening up your day or putting a smile on your faces in your dark times. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas and a fun New Year even with the restrictions in place. And here is to hoping that 2021 is the year that we all have been waiting for. And I hope to see you guys in the future.